Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is
Attack on Show.
Yes. And as always, wait, don't click away. Our average view time is like 10 seconds. So I wanted to make sure we caught the people.
They
don't
really
click just
don't
yet.
like us.
No. Actually, I think we get a minute. But I just wanted to be preemptive because we got to be prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a fun episode lined up for you guys. Some great viewing content. We've scoured all the streaming services, internet, the World Wide Web.
The deepest caves in the 7 wonders of the world.
That's deep.
Right?
When did you go on that trip?
It was like yesterday.
So jealous.
I had a good time.
We are bringing back one of your favorite segments. A lot of attackers have been asking for this. There was a big drought because of COVID, but I am very excited to bring back Preview Review.
Yes!
It's coming back, and we got to kick things off with no one other than, who do we got?
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. It's like a monthly subscription with this guy. Always pumping out movies. We're going to take a look at Prisoners of the Ghostland. I've not seen the trailer. You've not seen it.
I have not seen it either, no.
But Nicolas Cage
I saw
is
that
attached.
it came out, but I purposely didn't watch it because I wanted to do a segment on this.
It's going to be gold. I can't wait.
Yes.
And then I'm very excited about this. Super excited because we've got Binge Worthy. And we checked out a small show on Netflix. It's actually like the #1 show out of South Korea. There's a lot of good content.
Do they have a lot of stuff coming out of South Korea?
They do. Train to Busan. That we're going to cover that in a future episode. That was on my list. But we're going to take a look at Netflix's Kingdom. I don't even want to give any spoilers away, but other than you're going to want to stick around and hear about this show if you're looking for something very intense to watch. We found it for you. And then what do we got for Extreme It? We're going to do Extreme It.
Extreme It.
Yeah. It's where we find an original streaming movie.
Yep.
Not necessarily Beacon Rewind because it's new, but what do we got up for Extreme It?
So we have the documentary Val, about Val Kilmer, made by Val Kilmer, directed, produced by Val Kilmer, shot by Val Kilmer. It's really, really good.
It's really going to pull on your heartstrings with this one because I'm a big Val Kilmer fan.
As am I.
I'm already starting to tear up just thinking about what I had to watch. But no, definitely stick around because we got your review on that. And then, like we always do, going to wrap it up with I Miss My MTV. This is one of my favorite bands. Have you heard of Jungle?
No.
Oh, these guys are awesome. Jungle, they put out some great music, always putting out fun dance, just a great fun sound. And this one's featuring Boz, and this is called Romeo. You're going to want to listen to this track. It's going to get you on your feet. We might get on our feet. Before we get to all that, though, there's a couple important things our viewers got to do. You want to fill them in?
Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, hit that notification button so you get alerted when a new episode comes out.
I just had to, whip flash a bunch of graphics there. Good job, Patrick.
Bang, 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 bang.
As always, I'm Rob E.
I'm Patrick Arney.
And you're watching
Attack on Show. Is like lazy or something. It's like tired and like droopy.
I can edit it.
Okay. I'll just go like this the whole time.
Well, use your good eye because we got a preview review. You ready?
Yeah.
My granddaughter has been lost to us.
Is that Colonel Sanders?
I was just gonna say I
would
want some
have her
chicken now.
return to me post-haste. And you, sir,
I've been to one of these Trump rallies before.
are the man to do the job.
I will say it's never good when they try to dye a beard.
Each arm is
No,
equipped
well, he's
with
been
an
dyeing his hair
explosive
for
device.
years.
Your trousers are also equipped with explosives.
Not a good time to lose one's head.
Just beyond the point where we now stand lies a highway where evil reigns.
What is this?
At the end of 5 days, if you have not returned with Bernice, well, I think you get the idea.
I almost feel like Jeff Bridges wasn't
Godspeed.
available for the role. I think it's every
This is
filmmaker's
the
dream
Ghostland.
to be called a gonzo experience.
No escape. We are not the ones who hold her captive. It's been 2 days, and still she is missing.
Where does this take place? Because there's a whole lot of
How do I get out of here?
You must surrender to fate.
Battle Royale. Did you see it?
I did see that.
one escapes the Ghostland. No one!
I'm not a prisoner!
Well, I don't even know what that was.
I don't know what it's about. I don't know what.
It is one F of a good time, it said.
Yeah, it said get on board and hold the F on.
Hold the F on. Wow. I don't know. Thought Nick
Riveting.
Cage was making some progress, but maybe this was made years ago and they just got the footage now that COVID's out and
Yeah, maybe.
make a quick buck.
Maybe.
I don't even
think
know.
he had like a hair transplant or something.
Oh yeah, I thought that was years ago.
His hair looked fuller
Face
than-
off. I got nothing left. But there was some cool samurai fighting in there, some sword fighting going on, it looked like.
Yeah.
And speaking of cool sword fighting, we want to move on to Binge Worthy and Netflix's Kingdom.
Oh God.
Did you like that segue?
Listen up now. This is serious.
I was just wondering,
I've been excited about this one.
I know you have.
I've been forcing you to watch this show or nagging you to watch this show for a little while
I
now.
kid you not, all summer, like maybe once a week. Hey, have you started Kingdom yet? Have you started? Have you watched Kingdom yet? No. Okay, it's all right. I'll wait.
Yeah?
Have you watched Kingdom yet?
And he finally has gotten, well, you're mostly through the first season now.
Yes, I'm mostly through the first season.
And I'm going to start by saying, despaired fans of Walking Dead, like people who felt let down after the show continued and got worse,
It's still going, by the way.
it is still going.
I just saw a commercial the other day that said new episode.
I quit years ago, and I
Same.
think a lot of people did. But to fill the void, I'm going to say right now, The Kingdom is everything The Walking Dead as it started out to be and hoped to be, at least in my book. I think this show is what you're missing.
얼굴이 끔찍한 괴물을 보았소. 하바마마께서는 어디 계시오?
But we're only 2 seasons in.
We're only 2 seasons in. And a movie. They just released a brand new movie this year to kind of fill in the gap between seasons 2 and 3. So they are pumping out new content. So The Kingdom is 2 seasons long. They're only 6-episode, hour-long episodes,
Yep.
seasons. So they're pretty quick watch. But the premise is it's like the medieval times in like Korea, and basically there's like a zombie outbreak, I guess, to kind of jump right into it. However, I think what separates this series from other zombie shows is I like that they kind of get to the root as to what causes the zombie outbreak. Like they don't just
Yeah.
kind of leave that a mystery out there. But I think the storyline surrounding, like the zombie storyline is like one of many storylines that is running throughout this series where you get this kind of Game of Thrones-esque like battle for the throne that's tied into this story as well. And it's just, the storylines blow me away. Like I was
Yeah.
really caught like by how in depth the story carried, and just kept you interested. It wasn't just a zombie gory like gore fest with some fighting. There's a lot of plot in this series that I was really blown away with.
I love the way it's shot. It is shot beautifully, and it's funny because I started watching this on Netflix, and just like the default was an English dub over, and also English subtitles. They don't match, so I turned off the subtitles because I can't do subtitles. I'm not that guy. I can't do it. But it's really good. The English dub over is a little cheesy at some points, but it makes it kind of fun. But the way it's shot, the cinematography and the way that like everything from the lighting, the sets, like you feel like you're there.
Yes.
And that's what I love to see in stuff like this.
I compare this a lot when I'm talking to people to like the cinematography done in Yellowstone, that the scenery and like you say, not only the sets are so detailed, like the costume design is so detailed, but when they're outdoors,
Yeah.
the scenery that they find or the landscape that they find to film in is just beautiful, and it's framed so well. Yes, it's like every shot. And I do watch it subtitled. I do like the original audio, but it's when I want to go back and watch the whole series now for a second time, because I do worry that while reading, I kind of missed some cool like shots possibly, well, because I was focused on the reading, but the choreography in this, because the zombies are quick in this. They don't take the Walking Dead slow walk approach. These are more like the 28 Days Later, or where like the zombies are fast. They move quick.
But like they only come out at nighttime.
Oh, there's a great plot twist. I can't wait for you to get further in the show. Oh, yes, but you're correct. So it does give you kind of that relief, because when during the day, the zombies are basically asleep or they hide from the sun.
They're nocturnal animals.
But it's nice because it kind of gives you the break in the story that you can build. It's this whole the king is sick. He's remarried to a younger queen. She's pregnant. The new wife's dad wants to control the throne, because the king is like basically deadly ill. They want to get rid of his firstborn son, so they set him up for treason. So you have this storyline of like, he's the chosen prince, or the crown prince, and he's kind of out renegade, but people still, the way news doesn't travel back then like it does now, so there's still people who are loyal to him. Then you have like this new queen that's trying to be in power. So you have this whole battle for the throne storyline, but it's nice because, to wrap up back to the zombies, when they are asleep during the day, it gives time for that storyline to build and to show some more character development, where you're not just constantly fighting zombies all the time. They're not just always around. And I really appreciated that with the story, because it gave you that breath. Again, the highlights: cinematography, story, character development. If you're looking for a good, intense show, and the fight choreography.
Oh, the fight choreography is sick.
It's insane, and it only gets better. I can't wait for you to finish to get further in this season. They do some really cool one take fight sequences with multiple fighters, where it moves through the sets, and it's all one take, and it's very well done. So the show is top of the bar. I'm a highly recommend to watch, especially because it's fresh. It just started in 2019. Season 2 was released. They just came out with a side story movie called Ashen of the North, and they've already said season 3 is greenlit, and they're making like another side story on the Crown Prince. These are kind of prequel standalone movies. So there's a lot of investment into this series because of it being so popular on Netflix. And now, to our attackers, you guys are going to watch it.
I also say watch.
Yeah? Like
Right
exclamation point watch?
Like excellent. I want 3 exclamation points.
That's a solid watch, fans. So after you check it out, comment below. Come back to this episode and let us know. Hit us up on Facebook or Instagram. Let us know if you watched the series. And I'd love to hear your feedback and your thank yous, honestly.
Yeah.
Because you're really going to like this show.
Yeah,
so,
you are.
You want to do Extreme It?
Yes. So, on this next segment, we are going to be talking about the documentary Val, about the one and only Val Kilmer. It kind of takes you through his life through his lens. He always had a video camera growing up and throughout his career, and he would film everything. And this is all footage that has never been seen before. And he tells the story of how he came to, how he came to be as an actor, and how he unfortunately got throat cancer, and he's now lost his voice because of that, and the struggles that he has because of that. But there's an interesting thing that we will talk about that is new that we'll talk about. But first, I wanted to ask you, what were your thoughts on this documentary?
So I am a longtime Val Kilmer fan. A huge fan back from like Real Genius all the way through. I mean, obviously Tombstone. Everyone's going to remember him from Tombstone. I was really excited when he got Batman, just because I was seeing, I watched him from these comedy, sort of indie mock films to where he was, where he's now getting Batman. And it was really cool to see that progression take off. This movie like tugged on every little heartstring that I have, where he was just such an idol to me. To me, there's no better performance in any Hollywood film or any film than what he did as Doc Holliday.
I'm your Huckleberry.
I mean, I idolized that movie. I memorized it when it first came out. I watched that movie thousands of times. His performance just always blew me away, and I was just such a fan of his. And it's really, really hard for me to like watch him struggle to talk and to hear his voice and not be able to hear his voice again. And what really blew me away was the narration on the movie.
My name is Val Kilmer. I'm an actor.
I thought was him, and then they cut to and it's his son. And his son, worked on his voice a little bit and the dialect to sound like his father, but the resemblance blew my mind where I thought I was listening to Val Kilmer's voice again.
I was the first guy I knew to own a video camera.
And it made me even more sad because it's I miss that voice. He just was such a good actor. But it's interesting, something that stood out for me, and I've said this for years, is that it's interesting because the idea of interviewing actors or getting behind the scenes of celebrities, I always thought was going to change, because it isn't like actors out of the 50s and 60s where you didn't have that type of technology of a video camera around all the time. We're now getting, it's only going to get more in depth as now people are going live, but we're seeing the generation of the video camera, and Val Kilmer, who carried one around with him nonstop. I'm shocked at how much this guy carried a camera around with him.
Yeah.
Considering what he's doing, I mean, he's sitting on Top Gun with the camera, but the guy videotaped everything. I mean, I can only imagine how much ended up on the cutting floor. That probably is still amazing footage.
Yeah.
You just have to trim down to something to fit a movie timeline.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think it was interesting to kind of hear about some of the loss that he's had in his life and how that's really shaped him as a person and as an artist. There's so many levels to him that you really start to dive into with this film that I think it was honestly a fantastic film, and it is sad to see it's sad to see that voice go away.
Something that really I took away from this film was I like that it wasn't an apology or a regret of things he's done in his life. This is literally a window into his entire life, his experiences, and what he had gone through, without really regret. Or it's not one of those stories where most of the time you see something like this, they always talk about, oh, I wish I'd have done this different. This is he really just opens the curtain and lets you see what he went through. Yeah. And it opened my eyes, the whole acting industry in Michigan. And you do these auditions and you get kind of frustrated if you don't get called back or anything, but it was real interesting to see that Val Kilmer, being an established actor, what he would do for auditions. I mean, for Platoon, and these were roles that he didn't get. He was an established actor at the time, an amazing actor, and it was interesting to see he would go out and do full-blown production auditions. He would get Army grade costumes and go stand up to his waist in water, and play a Vietnam soldier for an audition tape, a self-recorded audition tape. He was doing self-recorded audition tapes. He's probably the pioneer of those.
Yeah. Well, my acting coach always says that as an actor, your job is auditioning. And when you get the role and you're filming, that's your vacation.
Yeah, I like that.
I do too.
No, and it was interesting too. The one line that really stood out to me is, he's talking about being on set for so long and he's missing his child and his wife, and he's just cutting his hair with a knife, which was really weird, and it still looked good.
I'm sure it was touched up later.
He talked about the money that they were paid, and he's these basically are just, these people are paying for your life, for you to own your life, not necessarily to play the role. It was just an interesting perspective because everyone's known for years he's a very deep perspective person. People would always say he was a perfectionist or hard to work with, but honestly, I think the guy was just a genius at his craft.
Yeah.
And I don't think the results ever suffered again.
And he took it seriously.
He did.
That's a big thing, is I think people can seem to see this sort of profession as oh, it's just, you're just having fun and you're just playing around and all this stuff, but no, it's serious work, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. Yeah. It
was really sad. There's a sequence where he's watching Tombstone with fans, and he has to walk away by himself, and he's just he's down because he's saying how people idolize who he used to be, and he's not that person. But it did help, not that I needed any help or comfort, but it was interesting to hear him say he feels fine. He says, I sound worse than I feel. He's other than how I sound, I'm the same person I was. I don't have pain. I don't feel sick. And he is still just prankful. He still does pranks. There's even a sequence where he starts acting like he's choking and falls over, and the camera guy drops the camera on over him, and he stands up laughing. He's sorry, I couldn't resist. And it's just I like panicked watching that scene where I'm like, oh my God, is he dying? And
Yeah.
you know, he just gets up laughing. Like, he's still the same Val Kilmer. So it was nice to watch. Like, he sounds different. He even says, like, I look worse than I feel. I feel fine. I'm real excited to see him with Top Gun. I'm glad that they insisted on keeping Iceman in the sequel. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him as a character, but more importantly, that voice.
Well, speaking of Top Gun, there's a company called Synantic, I think is what they're called, and it's an AI, a computer-generated like type company where they were able to reference. Val worked with this company, and they were able to reference all of his old interviews, all of his old films, and all this stuff, and they can computer generate his voice.
But now I can express myself again. I can bring these dreams to you.
And talk about tearing up again.
Yeah, just rip your heart out.
It's amazing. It's like deep fake, but for voice capture, where they just fed it all of this whole dialogue from him. And it's amazing because it even emphasized the right words. I mean, it flows so smooth. When you usually get that AI voice, it's very just chopped and put together, and this thing just it rolls so smooth together, and it insinuates where he wants it to. And
I looked up this company, and it is a software. It's like a programming software where they, like, you can go in and edit and change the inflection of the voice. So my guess is they did that themselves in editing for the voice. So it's not like you just type it and then it says it and does what it thinks.
Because I was real curious how this was working. I mean, it blew me away to hear it, and it was his voice. It was really amazing. So, I mean, it's definitely worth. I'm definitely a watch.
Oh, yeah.
It's on Amazon Prime, so if you're paying for the 2-day shipping, you've got the service, you might as well watch this. But
you want to talk about a 3 exclamation point watch? This is it.
Yeah, it's definitely an eye-opener. It's a great look inside to what this man's life was. A good look, I think, into Hollywood, the process that he went through. I never knew he married the lead from Willow. It blew me away. I did not know that. So even being such a big fan, I never pieced that together.
And I didn't know about all the turmoil of the film that he did with Marlon Brando. All of the turmoil
I knew that.
With the director on set.
Yeah, I remember hearing about
that.
And
he gives a great insight. Like, he filmed it.
Yeah.
And you see it, and it's like...
It's interesting to see all the other perspective of the other actors, like I guess we're doing. Like, it wasn't just him. Everybody was upset with what was going on. So, yeah, definitely watch this on Amazon Prime. It's definitely worth the time. And then let us know your feedback on it.
Yes.
But I'm real interested to hear if this touches everybody the way it touched me.
And me.
You want to listen to some music?
I do want to listen to music. Let's get amped up, bro.
Right. I miss my MTV. Do you miss your MTV?
I mean,
Did you ever have MTV?
Yes, I had MTV. I remember I would wake up in the summertime in particular. I'd wake up and I'd go downstairs and I'd watch VH1 music videos and MTV music videos and like the VH1 countdown and all that kind of stuff.
I missed the VH1 countdown.
It was all
on the
full
weekends.
of music. Yeah, it was good, man.
Yeah, the good old days. Well, we're bringing those good old days back with new bands and awesome music. And this is a band I've been listening to for a few years now. I got to see them live out in Vegas. These guys are very cool. It's electronic type sound, dance music.
You got to see them live in Vegas?
Yeah. Yeah, they were,
right,
and they were on point. On point. Yeah, they were actually opening for Alt J, and I knew Jungle at the time, so I was really excited. We got to go main floor and right up to the stage for them because no one was in there yet.
Okay, we all know you were there. You don't need to brag.
I'm bragging because Jungle is awesome, and you're gonna think they're awesome after you listen to this track. It's featuring Boz. The song is called Romeo. Enjoy.
Jump on a jet and it's chartered a star. Bad in the cycle, I don't even like her. She dead it, I cannot be bothered to call. Hope you see the light, darling. Oh yes, running like 4 legs, them people fold. They don't want no run-ins like bow legs, no. Jumped out the circus like Soleil, curving. My people got me, copy, solid, sterling, still resolve. Look at you like a cube of sugar in a pool of water that you will dissolve. Had so much to prove, but nowhere with all, so you got nowhere at all, no way out. Either way, it's all gon' play out. It's all gon' play out.
You like it?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah,
Yeah?
definitely listen to it.
No,
For sure.
definitely check out Jungle.
Yeah.
That was Boz featuring Boz. The song's Romeo. Click the link below to check it out. And also check out a lot of other Jungle music because those guys are awesome. Every track is that same up-tempo, a lot of fun music. And I just like happy music. I want to listen to music to like move
Feel
around.
good.
Yes. Enjoy the sound. Have fun with it. And that's what they are. And speaking of having fun and being good and awesome people, I want to give a shout out to Ronnie Austion, who is the creator of the Go Be Great on Purpose. I love this slogan. The slogan alone, I was sold. I walked by and he's got wicked colors too. Like there's orange and like purple, like lettering. Like there's, this was the only one that was big enough for the fat guy like me. So I didn't have any other like the poppy colors. So I went with this. I love it though. I think it's a cool shirt, right?
It is a cool shirt. I dig it.
Yes. And then also, speaking of shirts, Patrick, we got to point out because of the dates.
Yes.
Take a serious moment.
So there's this company called Born Primitive, and it was created and run and owned by veterans, and they do special 9/11 remembrance T-shirts. And since this year is the 20th anniversary since 9/11, they had one that was made, and on the back of it, it has the story of one of the firefighters who lost his life. And yeah, it's just something that we need to make sure that we always remember and respect the day, and you know, say a prayer for the families of the people that lost loved ones and friends.
And never forget.
Never forget.
No.
Yeah.
So everybody, thank you for watching this show. As always, I'm Robbie.
I'm Patrick Harney.
And what's the show?
Tack on Show.